Today we're going to talk about physical media and why it's just not what it used to be. And when we talk about physical media now these days, we're not thinking about the big studios, the Sonys, Paramounts, MGMs, stuff like that. You know, usually there's a label. There'd be Arrow, Screen Factory, Terra Vision, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, whatever it may be. That's usually what we think now when we think about physical media. Now, the big studios, they just don't do it like they used to do. And even to a point, I don't think these boutique labels do it like it used to be done. Now, I'm going to go through some examples from kind of each label of their special big edition releases. And then we're going to look at a studio release of a DVD from a long time ago. First release, we're going to go through Arrow release, and I think this is one of their most premium releases that they've done up to this point that I can remember. And it's going to be the Warriors, the 4K edition of the Warriors. Now, this is a great edition, transfers excellent, all that stuff. It's got the slip with the hard box. And the hard box, I mean, it includes this hard, I mean, it's a great packaging, great hard box with the movie. You got your 4K edition, and then you got your, that has the 4K, and then it's got theatrical Blu-ray, but it's got stickers. Let's go through this a little bit. It's got stickers. Let's just grab all this out of here on this. But you got stickers from each of the gangs there, almost all of them. It's also got these great photo cards, probably lobby cards, what they came from. Then you got your sneak peeks. But that is a premium edition from Arrow. Warriors also comes with the poster. You got the theatrical, and then you have the, this is what I remember is the old DVD release poster. Both great posters, but I prefer this one. But it comes with all this and this ginormous booklet for the Warriors. I mean, it's just ginormous booklet. It's pretty much a book if you want to go through and, you know, to read all that. Now, I'm going to give their props on this because this is excellent release from top to bottom, from transfer to packaging to everything that is included. This is one that is done right by a boutique label, and nothing like this for Warriors ever got released by the big company, which is Paramount. So this release is done right and close to a release from the DVD I'm going to show you, but I still just don't think it just doesn't meet that expectation for me. And it's probably not fair to this release, but this is like premium as premium gets for Arrow. I don't even know if they've done something similar to this up to this point. They probably have. I just hasn't been something I've been interested in, so I haven't picked it up. Now, this next release I'm going to talk about is from Severin Films, and on the face, this is an awesome idea for a release in addition, just as far as packaging goes. And that's Kathy's Curse, which, I mean, I think we all know at this point, if you pull this, light, the eyes are supposed to light up. Well, my eyes don't light up, right? And that was the biggest thing with this release, is that I would say about less than 50% of these actually worked like they were supposed to. And I know some people like mine, they just don't work at all. And other people's, hey, one eye's lit up and the other hasn't. And, some has worked like it's supposed to. But I think this was a good attempt by Severin to do something cool and something that hasn't been done in a long time. Now, with this release, you'll notice that this is the Blu-ray, not the 4K, because I did not get the 4K, this whole edition with 4K, and maybe if I had, the lights would have worked. But I just bought the case, the packaging when they had this on their sale for, I think it was like 10 to 12 bucks, and I just got the Blu-ray, and I think the Blu-ray is on sale for super cheap, so that's just how I house it. But this is again from a bigger boutique label that I think they had the right idea, but they just didn't execute it in the proper way. And this is probably the most complex, the best type of special edition release that they've done. Now, the next boutique company I want to talk about is Scream Factory, and one of their premium releases that had a booklet with it, which I think we all know at this point, if you order it from their site, you're going to get the edition with the slip or hard box with the poster and all that stuff. But this is one that I don't have because I upgraded it to 4K. I got rid of the regular Blu-ray they had. But if my memory's correct, which don't hold my memory for anything because it's bad. But this little movie right here, this is, and I just dropped it. So, that's great. This little thing right here, it's the Creepshow Steelbook on 4K. And as you can see, I got this on clearance for $16.85. Still ain't opened it yet. But they had a Blu-ray release with a box similar to this, but it wasn't as hard as this, and it did come with a booklet. Now that is my memory, which, like I said, my memory's not great. One of the few releases that Scream Factory did, whether it be 4K or Blu-ray, that came with a booklet of some sorts. And that was for Creepshow. But we talked about premium release for Creepshow, or for Scream Factory. Like I said, Creepshow, but this would be my next option. Would be these Halloween, and I even think Elvira, and maybe a few more of the early 4Ks that they did came in these hard boxes like so with the 4K disc, and that would be a premium edition for Scream Factory. And I want to say, which I should have said earlier, but I didn't. But I'm not talking about, as far as special features goes, I'm not talking about special features, because as we all know, almost all of these are packed to the rim of special features. Something like this, probably, which I haven't really, I'll look, other than this actual 4K scan of this, most of the special features are probably from that same Blu-ray that you have of this, because once we get to a certain point so far, and as people die, unfortunately, and as many things is put out, there's not a whole lot you can say about some of these titles compared to the others. But this is what I would consider the premium Scream Factory release, or that, as I showed, Creepshow, but the Blu-ray edition, not the Steelbook of Scream Factory. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome do two things. They have VSAs, which are like so, just champagne and bullets. Nice hard box comes from the bottom, and usually they'll throw you in a poster of this artwork and whatever artwork is on the back there. They'll throw that in. So the VSAs, something I would consider a premium release from the boutique label. And then they also have 4Ks. Now this is a new 4K. This is Tix. Well, it's not new. It's pretty old at this point. But this is one of them. Is Tix. Obviously, you got the nice. I mean, I don't want to overstate it and like sound like I'm talking shit about these. These are nice, hard edition covers of these movies, along with the slipcase, OG art, along with the slipcases and special features, loaded on special features. But, no booklet, nothing fancy other than the nice hard box with the slip in it. And just nothing too fancy with it. Killer artwork, but that'd be my good example of Vinegar Syndrome Premium Edition, which, in all honesty, one I don't have is Beastmaster, and that's probably more a better example than both of them I just listed. It kind of opens like the Kathy's Curse from Severin in a way, if I think, but that's more of a better example, but I just don't have it to showcase. And the next title from a boutique label is going to be Terra Vision, and they've been doing this here lately with their 4Ks. I think they've had to have been working with the same people who make the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, packaging wise, and that's Terra Vision. This is Rumpelstiltskin, the 4K edition, obviously, much like the Tix solid hard box for the case. And then you have the movie itself with the slip cover. It's the 4K Rumpelstiltskin OG art. And this also includes a poster and a booklet, about the film and all that. I mean, it's pretty much like a novella, as far as much as in there. But this is considered from them, Terra Vision, to be the premium release at this point. But another thing I haven't really mentioned up to this point is price point on some of this stuff. This, I don't want to say it was close to $40, had to have been, right? 4K, this hard box, all this, $40 probably, right? And I would say the same with Tix. I know Tix, I got a lot cheaper. I got it on sale, so it was a little bit cheaper when they had one of their sales. But the price, I feel like the prices have jumped way up on some of this stuff. And when we talk about this later edition that I'm going to talk about, if memory serves me correct, and as I've already said, my memory's not the best, but I just feel like it's about half of whatever we're talking about. And I know inflation, all that stuff sucks, but still, right? Come on, price point is going to be the biggest thing for us as collectors. And the last boutique company I'm going to talk about as far as premium releases, other than box set, this is about as premium as you get from this company. They have done this title and a few others, a couple others that I do have, but this one's open, so I wanted to show this one off. This is Opera. This will be Severin Films Opera Edition. Now, the hard box for this is nothing compared to the Terra Vision, Scream Factory, or Vinegar Syndrome. It's a little bit more flimsy, not as tough, not as cardboardy. More feels like tough paper folded over to make it. But it does come with a huge booklet like the others. This one, not as much text as the Terra Vision, a lot more pictures, but still, and a very meaty physical media release of Opera. This is 5 discs. It's got 4K cut. It's got the director's cut and US cut on Blu-ray, director's cut on Blu-ray, and the regular Blu-ray, along with the CD soundtrack on this. And sorry if I didn't open all of the other ones, but you can see 5 discs. Big edition, but not, I would say the quality just doesn't meet, as far as this part of it, doesn't meet the quality of Terra Vision or Vinegar Syndrome. But still, premium release from boutique label Severn Films. And here's another one for Lionsgate, which unfortunately Lionsgate now is doing their Lionsgate Select or whatever it's called line, where you can only get them from their site, and they've raised the price astronomically on their releases. But this is Lionsgate, the Steelbook, American Psycho, which you can see how much I got that for. And this is just Steelbook with a cool slipcover. I mean, that's about all they did with this. I'm pretty certain this is the same special features as what was on my simple Blu-ray release, and they did nothing but upgrade the transfer and packaging on this. Here's a couple more examples of bigger studio releases. You know, Universal's Oenheimer. This is, I think, a Walmart exclusive. It's a 3 disc. Got a slip, kind of like a media book. I mean, it is pretty cool, but it's got this thing I cannot stand, which is the disc screen sleeves, and I just absolutely hate that. It's awful. I don't know why you would do that, because it's never good for the discs themselves. But this is Universal's big release, and I don't know, I'm wanting to say $30 maybe is what I paid for this Oppenheimer release. Now, one of the sole reasons I made this video is for a new line release of a movie that I feel like it's either loved or hated. You know, there really is no in between on this, but the movie doesn't matter. We're going to focus on the release itself, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from New Line. Michael Bay, you know, he did all of them. But this release, DVD from a major studio, is what I want to see come back. Because you have the hard box. Right, hard box, which I'm not going to say that that's not really right home about. It's not that hard. It's about, I would compare it to the Severn hard boxes as far as what it is. But this release folds out into a chainsaw blade. You got your scene selection up here, 2 discs. You know, one's the movie, which is right there, and the other is the special feature disc. But this release has, you'll be asking yourself, what does this release have? Evidence pictures, and it has this slew of photographs from the beginning, primarily from the beginning probably of the film to the end, where they show you the police footage throughout, and then they show you at the end there's a sledgehammer. There's the last known image of Thomas Hewitt, Leatherface himself. I don't really know what that is. I can't tell. There's a chainsaw. But all these cool evidence photos are 8 evidence photos, and on the back, an evidence log that tells you each description and the case of the evidence and kind of what's going on in them, kind of like you would on a crime scene. And it comes in this awesome evidence envelope that you can look at them, read the back of the evidence, put it back in the envelope, and Goes back right here in a special compartment for the release. And that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, special edition DVD from New Line Cinema. Now, I've showed you guys a bunch of boutique label releases and even a couple of the big studio releases, New Line being one of them. But you guys let me know. Do you feel like back in the DVD era, these big companies put more thought into these special edition releases or not? And if you think that maybe this release is cooler than some of the other releases I showed off, I'll say I still think that this Warriors release is about as good as you can get compared to this. And that might sound crazy, but just what the compare, you get a lot in this, and it's a lot of stuff, booklet, posters, the slip, and the hard box. But this is just, in a way, I think fan service. I mean, the freaking, it folds out into a chainsaw itself, and it's got the evidence photos, and it is, full of special features. And obviously, as you can see on the screen over here, the menu screen is a little bit more interactive, which is something I really didn't touch on. A lot of these menu screens are maybe an image and some music. This has got photos and music. You can't hear it because I don't want to get a copyright. With photos and music, and then especially a big one, which they don't do anymore, which wish I had it before you pulled up. But House of a Thousand Corpses has one of the best interactive menus of that time, whether it be the Blu-ray or the DVD with Captain Spaulding and all that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. This is one of my favorite special edition release DVDs from this time period from a major studio. And let me know if you agree with me or you have some others of your own that are special that I need to look out for. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it. And remember, rewind or die.